Hello everybody! Welcome to the first lesson in our new unit, Trigonometric Functions. Make sure you hit pause whenever you need to stop and write something down. The lesson goal for today is to convert decimal degrees to and from degrees, minutes, seconds. Sometimes I use shorthand when I'm writing things down underneath the camera, so you might want to be familiar with the shorthand. Also, this particular shorthand will help us with a few tricks when we're working out problems. Convert D degree symbol, followed by a back-to-back arrow, D degree symbol, M with the minute symbol or 1 tick mark, sort of like an apostrophe, S with 2 tick marks like a quotation. One thing to remember is that DMS is in alphabetical order. That's going to help you remember how you should write it down. Then, when we work out a few examples later on, I'm going to show you how this is actually going to help you remember what you need to do when doing your conversions. But before we begin, what do you need to know? There are certain things that you've learned in the past that might be really important and relevant in this lesson. There might also be some things that you just don't know yet, and you need to commit to memory so that you can use them moving forward. Need to know. We need to know that 1 degree equals 60 minutes. Now here, I've written it with words. You should definitely write it down because it gets a little confusing trying to remember the words, the symbols, how to read the symbols. So if you have it written both ways, it's going to help you out and you won't really get as mixed up and you'll learn what the symbols stand for more quickly. Now let's look at it with symbols and mathematical notation. 1 degree equals 60 minutes. 1 degree is a very small measure you might remember when you used a protractor in geometry. To go around 1 full rotation, or a full circle, takes 360 degrees. To go around half of a circle is 180 degrees. A right angle is 90 degrees. 1 degree is pretty small, but as small as it is, we fit 60 minutes inside of 1 degree. That means that minutes are much smaller than degrees. How many degrees are there in 1 minute? There is 1/60th of a degree in 1 minute. Now let's look at the next piece of information. 1 minute equals 60 seconds. Here again, I have this presented to us with words, and you should definitely be writing both the words and the mathematical symbols into your notebook. It wouldn't hurt to color coordinate like I did as well. Now let's look at this same information with numbers and mathematical symbols. 1 minute equals 60 seconds. Even though 1 minute is really small, 1 second is even smaller. How many minutes are there in 1 second? There is 1/60th of a minute in 1 second. How many seconds are there in 1 degree? There are 3,600 seconds in 1 degree, or 3,600 seconds in 1 degree. Now let's get warmed up. Let's say you are given the information that 1 mile is 5,280 feet. If this is something you don't already know by heart, it's definitely something you should work on knowing by heart. Converting feet and miles back and forth comes up quite a bit in math and science class, and perhaps even in real life, so you might want to just know and have a good general idea of the number of feet in 1 mile. So again, 1 mile is 5,280 feet. And 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. I'm a bit more confident that most of you guys knew that there were 12 inches in 1 foot. Suppose you were working with 1 mile, 2,000 feet, and 3 inches. How many decimal miles is that? So you know it's less than 2 miles because you only have 2,000 feet. But how much less than 2 miles? 1 point, how much? Maybe you could get a question like this right on a multiple choice test because you know it's less than 1.5, bigger than 1, but how do we actually work this out? The way we're going to work this example out, using units of measure that you should be a little bit more comfortable with, miles, feet, and inches, will parallel the way we work out the examples in the lesson today, where we work with decimal degrees and degree minute seconds. If you want to press pause and try it on your own first, go ahead. But if you'd rather do it along with me, then just continue watching. In warm-up number 1, we have 1 mile, 2,000 feet, 3 inches, and we want to know how many decimal miles this is equal to. We're going to work from right to left, from the smallest measurement of inches all the way up to the biggest, miles. First, we're going to start off with changing 3 inches into feet. 3 inches equals how many feet? We're going to do this with a dimensional analysis approach. That means we need a conversion factor or a conversion fact. How many inches equals how many feet? 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. Since we're starting with 3 inches, that will go in the top left corner. And then we need inches on bottom because we need the inches to reduce and go away. And then feet will go on top because we need to finish with feet in the answer. We need to stack vertically a true statement. So how many feet equal how many inches? 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. That leaves us with 3 times 1 times feet over 12. 3 over 12 feet, which reduces to 1 over 4 feet, which is 0.25 feet. We'll take that amount of decimal feet, tack it onto the 2,000 feet we started with. Now we want to convert 2,000.25 feet into miles. We need a conversion factor or conversion fact. That fact will be that 5,280 feet equals 1 mile. 2,000.25 feet goes in the top left corner. Feet needs to reduce, so the units feet will go on bottom in the next column. And we're going to miles, so that needs to go on top. 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. We multiply everything that's next to each other and we divide the entire top by the entire bottom. 2,000.25 times 1 times mile over 5,280 feet. We can't do that in our head, so we'll take out our calculator and we see that this is approximately 0.3788 miles. We'll tack that on to the one existing mile. Therefore, 1 mile, 2,000 feet, 3 inches equals 1.3788 miles. Now remember, 1 degree equals 60 minutes, and 1 minute equals 60 seconds. Let's get started on example 1. If we're given the same information we just went over a moment ago, then 210 degrees, 45 minutes, 36 seconds equals how many decimal degrees? Let's try it together now. In example 1, we want to know how many decimal degrees there are in 210 degrees, 45 minutes, and 36 seconds. If we use this little trick here, where we write out DD, DMS in alphabetical order, decimal degrees, degrees, minutes, seconds, we see that we're trying to go from degrees, minutes, seconds to decimal degrees. So we're going from right to left. And that means we're going to work with these numbers from right to left. Seconds to minutes to degrees. That means I'm starting with the 36 seconds. 36 seconds equals how many minutes? We want seconds to reduce, so I'll need seconds on top and seconds in the bottom. I want to convert to minutes, so I will have 60 seconds on bottom. 1 minute equals 60 seconds. With the seconds reduced, we have 36 times 1 minute over 60. We could reduce both of these numbers by 6, and we'll get 6 over 10 minutes. Although we could reduce a little bit more, it's actually a little bit better this way because we end up with 0.6 minutes easily without a calculator because 6/10 is 0.6. We take the 0.6 minutes and we tack it on to the 45 minutes because that 36 seconds is equal to 0.6 minutes, and we already had 45 minutes to begin with. Now we have 45.6 minutes, and we want to know how many degrees is this equal to. Since we want the minutes to reduce, our 45.6 minutes in the top left corner needs a minute as the unit on the bottom right. 1 degree equals 60 minutes. With those minutes reduced, we're left with 45.6 times 1 degree over 60, and using our calculator, we find that that's equal to 0.76 degrees. Therefore, 210 degrees, 45 minutes, 36 seconds is equal to 210.76 degrees. We took that 0.76 degrees and tacked it on to the existing 210 degrees. Example 2. If 1 degree is 60 minutes and 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds, then 70.89 degrees equals how many degrees, minutes, and seconds? This example requires we go in the other direction. Again, if you think this is something you can do on your own, give it a try. Press pause and go ahead. If you're a little bit less confident or just feel better about doing it with me, then keep watching, but make sure again that you press pause anytime you need to make sure you write something down, or rewind if you think you missed something important. In example 2, we're given a decimal degree measure of 70.89 degrees, and we want to convert this to degrees, minutes, seconds. Now we're going from left to right, so we're going to change from degrees to minutes to seconds. The 70 degrees is a whole amount of degrees, and that part remains untouched. The 0.89 degrees is what we'll be working with. We want the degree symbol to reduce, so we need degrees in the denominator, but we want to convert this to minutes, so minutes in the numerator. 60 minutes equals 1 degree. Degrees reduces, so we have 0.89 times 60 minutes over 1, which we really don't need to write down. If we use our calculator, we will find that this is equal to 53.4 minutes. 53 is a whole number of minutes, so that part goes to the minutes. The 0.4 minutes, however, will be converted to seconds. 0.4 minutes equals how many seconds? Again, we want minutes to reduce, so that needs to go on bottom. The unit that you're going towards needs to be in the numerator, and the one you're going from goes in the denominator. After you reduce the minute symbols, you have 0.4 times 60 seconds. You really don't need a calculator for this, but we'll continue using it just because we did the first part of this example with a calculator, but we'll get 0.4 times 60 is 24 seconds. Therefore, 70.89 degrees is equal to 70 degrees, 53 minutes, and 24 seconds. Since seconds are already very, very small, if they work out to be a decimal, I ask that you round it to the nearest whole number. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Make sure you go over everything we just went over. How many degrees equal how many minutes? What number of minutes equals what number of degrees? What the notation looks like, and how to do each type of example. If you have any kind of question or anything you think needs to be clarified in the next lesson, let me know, and I'll do my best to take care of all of your concerns. I suggest for this unit, when you feel that you understand a new concept really, really well, you give that lesson video a thumbs up, but when you think that that new lesson still deserves a little bit more of your attention or a bit more practice, give that video a thumbs down. This way, when you go to study for a quiz or a test or any other type of assessment, then you know to start with the lesson videos that all have a thumbs down rating before you pay attention to the lesson videos that have a thumbs up rating. I promise I won't be offended if there's a high number of thumbs down. That just means that it's still new and you still need practice. If you feel really good when you do the assignment that goes with this lesson, then come on back and give the video a thumbs up so that you know you've got it under control. And if you're ready for the next lesson, you can actually click right here and get a head start.